Hello friends, my name is Theo, and today in this exciting Media Media tutorial, we're going to talk about texturing inside the Fusion part of DaVinci Resolve. So this is a very important thing. There's sort of two main things that'll make your 3D renders look better, and that is lighting and textures. So luckily in Fusion, adding materials is relatively easy. Now you're not going to be doing a lot of like 3D modeling per se inside Fusion unless you're some sort of a crazy masochist, I'm guessing. So we won't be working with too difficult of stuff. Really, most of what you'll be doing probably is using things like planes to do projection mapping and other stuff. But here, just going to be taking a look at a cube here. So it's already got UVs added, and we're just going to start adding a material. So I have a bunch of maps from a material that I got from a website called Megascans, which is pretty good. This one is free. So if you're looking for stuff to play around with, they've got good stuff. There's paid stuff too. So if you want to get this texture and follow along, it's just right there. I'll put the link in the description below. So the first thing we're going to do is add what's called an Illumination Model. And this basically just tells the renderer how the light is going to react with our materials. So if we right click and go to Add Tool, 3D Material, you see we've got Blinn, Cook Torrents, Phong, Reflect, and Ward, which are our main ones to use. So Blinn is a standard one that a lot of people use. I like Cook Torrents the best for most things. It is a good diffuse material. It's got Fresnel built in, so that's the one I normally go with for stuff. Either that or Ward, which is better for metallic stuff. So we're going to add in a Cook Torrents here. Yeah, that just pops in a node here. You can see it's got lots of inputs. So if we just hover over these, we've got a roughness, a specular intensity, a diffuse color, a specular color, a bump map, and a refractive index material. And then we've got our material output. So we can automatically just pipe this material output right into our shape 3D node, which we've got right in here, projecting our cube. If you don't have material input and you want to add it in, you can also do a replace material node and just drop this right in line with shift drag and pipe it in there, and it'll do the same thing. So here we can already go ahead and like change some stuff here, change our specular color, do whatever we want, but we're going to make this look much better by using the maps that we downloaded from Megascans or whatever else you want to download them from, or you can make them yourself if you're just that hardcore. So the first thing we'll add is the diffuse material, which is the main one that contributes to our look. That's all of the sort of light hits this and reflects a color. So with this particular pack, it's called an albedo, which I'm sure is a much more technical and interesting name for us, but we'll go ahead and hit F2 and rename this to diffuse. And we will right click and drag this into our Cook Torrents node and select diffuse material. You see right away we get some bricks showing up on here. You see our UVs aren't perfect, but UVs are a different tutorial. So you can go ahead and rotate this around, do whatever we want. And we'll say that's looking good for now. And so we've still got our tint here, so let's go ahead and untint this. So we've got our diffuse material in there, and that's looking pretty good. It looks sort of like Doom, or it looks like that Windows screensaver where you go through the maze, really excellent stuff. But we'll make this look a little bit better. So the next one that we'll add is our Specular Intensity Map. So we'll go ahead and find something that looks like that. Specular, that seems about right. And name this Specular. And we will drag this in. This will go into our Specular Intensity. Now you can see not much really changes, but this basically tells the renderer where things are more or less reflective. But they don't use an actual reflectance model. It's a specular model, so it's just going to be whatever you have your specular color be. So if we switch this over to something like a sphere, we might be able to see this a little bit better. So without this specular, and with it, yeah, not a lot changes. But I'm sure other materials will have a much bigger difference. So we'll go ahead and add our next one, which will be our Roughness Map, which does a similar sort of thing. And right click and drag into our roughness material. There we go. That one didn't do too much either. And we've got one more thing that we can add. And in order to add this one, we need to actually add another node before that, and that is our bump node. So we need to add in a bump map node. And we'll actually use our normal map for this and not the bump that is given to us. The way that Fusion works, it takes a normal map for the bump, which is totally fine. So drag this in there, and we'll change our bump map from height field to bump map. And we will click and right click and drag into our bump map material. And now you can see, look at that. All of a sudden something happened. So this, if you look around, we still have a sphere here, so it doesn't change the geometry. But if we move our lights around, you can see that it really makes a difference with our lighting. So it fakes extra geometry in there. So that does a huge amount for it. But what if you want to actually push the geometry out some and, you know, make some real stuff go on? Well, luckily textures have you covered there too. So what we can do is, after our shape 3D node, add in a displace 3D. And we'll shift drag this in. And we will go and use our displacement map here. Drag this in. Input, name this. Oh, and you can see right away, we get actual changing of our geometry. And now this is obviously too much, so we can bring this down to something a little bit more manageable. You see it's a little bit soft right now. So how do we make that better? Let's switch to a cube so we can see this a little bit better. You see, it's looks good, but it's a little bit, you know, a little bit not particularly sharp. So what we need to do is up our subdivisions. So right here, I'm already at 86. Let's type this like 150. You can see it's much sharper stuff. And obviously our displacement is still way too much. You can see bricks wouldn't really stick out that much. So we'll bring our scale down even further. And it'll take a little bit to update because of having a couple polygons on there. But now, it'll be like 0.1. And now you see we get real actual geometry. So look, it's actually sticking out. So you can see really quickly, you get something that actually looks like a brick wall without having to do any actual modeling. So if you're doing like, you know, set extensions or replacements or anything, then this can really help you out. And of course, there's all sorts of other materials in there too. Metal ones, brick ones, marble, concrete. You know, just look around the internet for textures and you'll find, you know, cool stuff. So there you go. Now I have something looking nice and cliche for the thumbnail. It's the same sort of process with the other illumination models. So if you added a ward material, you see you can just look over these. We need specular color, bump map. This is interesting. The spread V and spread U textures, those actually are, go ahead and pipe this in now real quick. So if we change our spread U and spread V, you can see that actually changes sort of the angle of our reflection here. Sort of the angle of our specular, and let's go ahead and bypass this displace. And I will change this to a sphere so we can see a little bit better. So now, you see if we change these, see we get these anisotropic highlights, which is a much more metallic thing. So other materials will have maps like that in case you're using metallic stuff, and that will make that look much cooler. And if your object has, you know, more than one texture that you want to use for it, you can always use a material merge, and it does just what you think it would. So we can pipe this in here, this in there, this in there, and we can blend between the two. So there you go. Now we've got this like weird putty looking cube. So really great. So you see texturing, it's not that hard. It's just plugging the right maps into the right inputs. It can get, you know, as complicated as you want it to be with, you know, lots of materials added together, but you know, just for this basic stuff of getting stuff looking pretty good, it's pretty straightforward. Also, I should mention real quick that we have been viewing this in the render node, but if you want to preview your material without having to go through and render your whole scene, you can just select the material and hit 1 or 2 to bring it up whichever view you want, and then you can see it right here. And you can, of course, middle click and drag around, and then you can see how it looks from different lighting things. That'll make it a lot easier to preview your materials. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe to Mr. Media YouTube channel if you haven't already. Leave some ideas for other tutorials down in the comments below that you want to see, either in Fusion or the color page of Resolve or Blender, or I've been playing around with Houdini, you know, just whatever. I like hearing suggestions of what other people have to say. Just make sure they're not dumb suggestions. Make sure they're cool suggestions. We only do cool tutorials on Mr. Media. Also, if you're still sticking around this long, go check out meestermedia.com/products. We've got, lots of cool stuff that you can check out there. Got LUTs, and we got some good stock stuff that is great for motion graphics in Fusion. I use those all the time for titles and stuff. Some light leaks, some optical weird stuff. There's some atmospheric elements coming up soon. Spoiler alert. But with all that said and done, once again, I've been Theo with Meester Media. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.